Shall we begin? Let's begin.
Let's get this thing in the water.
Let's begin.
Hello and welcome to On the Patio with Mr. D. Hey, today I want to answer some questions that I've gotten over the past few months with regards to how do I connect my Osmo Pocket to my inflatable kayak, or how do you mount it even if you're on a hard kayak? How do you do it? Well, there's two ways. One, you can get one of these magnetic clamps. I'll put the link in the description for it. This worked really good for me for a season and a half. It really worked well. But then I went and got the Freewell wide angle lens. Now, why would that be a problem? Now, the problem is with this lens mounted right here, and you're out doing your thing, and you know it has the tracking feature, and you draw the box on it and all that kind of thing, and it'll track. Now, the other day I was out doing a post-COVID-19 on-water paddle. I mean, we weren't doing anything special, just me and a friend of mine were going out on my local lake behind me. And I noticed when I put him into tracking with the wide angle lens, it would pick up the phone when the tracking system got right here. So when it set up and it got like this, I would actually see parts of the phone in the clip. And I can't have that. And then also, we'll keep this real quiet because it's my sister's birthday today and I bought her a birthday present. The Fimi Palm already has wide angle built into it. She's getting this today. Now, that was the one thing. I really, really, really like my Osmo Pocket. I use it all the time. However, when they were designing this, I don't know if this was part of their plan or not part of their plan. I don't know. It could be a marketing thing, but you had to buy stuff after you bought this to really get it to perform right. Like if you wanted to do Wi-Fi, you had to buy the Wi-Fi base. If you wanted to use a thumb drive type of thing, you had to buy this. Now granted, it's touchscreen and you can do all this stuff without all that, but if I want to do Wi-Fi stuff, I had to buy the Wi-Fi adapter. Now, the problem with the Wi-Fi adapter, and the same thing with the Osmo Pocket, there's no quarter 20 on the bottom. So how the heck are you going to mount the damn thing? So you have to buy these mounts like this, and then hook it up and buy the modification for the Wi-Fi, and then hook it up like that, and now your unit's Wi-Fi. The Fimi Palm, the Wi-Fi is already built in. You don't have to do that. Only thing you have to do is get the strap, because they have no quarter 20 on the bottom. You have to get the strap to mount it to a standard GoPro mount or something like that. So what I was looking for, because no quarter 20 mount on the Osmo Pocket base, no quarter 20 on the Wi-Fi base, so I found a Wi-Fi base mount that will take the Osmo Pocket Wi-Fi and slide it in, and it has the quarter 20 base. So now there's part of my problem solved. I can go ahead and mount this right here, and you can see the quarter 20 is right here. But again, my problem with the wide angle lens is when I'm in tracking and it gets way over here, it's going to pick up the back of this phone. So I said, okay, I got to come up with a DIY project. I got the Osmo Pocket with its Wi-Fi adapter, with its adapter to where I can put it on a tripod, mounted on this. But the problem is how and where do I mount the camera? There's no way to mount it. So I know you guys got junk drawers full of GoPro accessory items and stuff like that, stuff you've never used. And I thought, hey, what if I use a bicycle handlebar mount with a couple other minor things? I was going through my junk drawer, as you can see up here, and I poured all this stuff out and I said, okay, it's time to put my brain to work here. How do I make this thing make it to where I can adjust this up or down and mount it somewhere on this particular tripod. Now this particular tripod is set up for me for when I'm in my inflatable kayaks. Now when I'm in my hard kayak, that problem still has the same situation, but I use Scotty mounts that I mount the 1/4 on and do my thing that way. And the standard poles and stuff like that for Scotty mounts, and that's for my Hobie. But when I'm in my inflatable, I need a contraption like this. And I'm going to show you how I hook it up here just a little bit. But let's get to the DIY project itself. You can easily get this thing where you want to go to mount your camera somewhere down here, and you want it to where you can still see when you're in your kayak. You want it right here. You want to be able to allow it to raise up and down. Now this one is 47 inches. I mean, it goes way up there. I don't ever get that high. But if you want to use that type of situation, this is the best one. Now this is a Fujitec FT568. And I'm using a per gear screw-on base legs right here, and it just unscrews and screws back on. Now this is what I use in my kayak, and I'm going to show you right towards the end of this thing how I hook it up, so you guys that have inflatable kayaks and have that front buckle clip and can hook this up, and it'll just stay secure, and you can get some great footage by setting this thing up the way you want it. And when you go ahead and activate the camera, you're going to get some great footage, and you can still kayak right along. So let's get into the DIY part. All right guys, what I've got here is I dug out through my junk drawer and I found one of my old cell mounts right here. Now I like this one because it has the screws. You can tighten it down to keep the phone secure. Here's the stuff that you're going to need for this particular DIY project, and it's really simple, guys. Now you guys have several phone mounts or cell phone mounts all over the place. First one is this one I got from PhotoPro. Now you guys probably got several of these cell phone brackets that you bought with different things that you got, and they throw one of these in. I don't like this one at all. I mean, I just don't. It sucks. It's a great design idea because you can kind of flex it out like this, but that wasn't for me. Now this is the one they normally throw into a bag when you buy something. And one of the requirements that I had to have, I thought it had to have a 1/4 mount on the back of it. But later in this DIY project, I'll show you how I got it to where you can use one with the 1/4 on the bottom. But I don't like these because they're too hard to spring back. They're very cheaply made. I found that the one with the screw mount here is the best one that I've ever had out there. But when I got my Osmo Pocket, this system here wouldn't work because I needed a way to mount the Osmo Pocket. So I got this magnetic system here where you place your Osmo Pocket in this bracket, you put your phone in here, and it slides in. This is all magnetic. It's not easy to pull out. But this one I've used, it's really great. It's well built. Like I said, I'll put the link in the description. This is all metal. It's not plastic, so that's a good thing. So anyway, back to the project. Like I said before, I have a Fujitec FT568 with a remote. Now, when you're using your Osmo Pocket and you're using your cell phone, this becomes kind of worthless. But then I found out after you put this DIY project in, you can still take stills from your camera and still run your Osmo Pocket at the same time. Really cool. So you can get some video and get some stills combinations. Now I'm using the iPhone 11 Pro Max, so you know it's got a great camera in it. It's really outstanding. What I had to do was to figure out a way to get this bracket on this tripod system. One of the first things I did was to wrap some tape, and you can see the tape residue right here, and to get this thing to tighten up enough to where it would hold. But then I found out that just wasn't practical. So I took that tape off, and then I went down one more size in the expansions, and it still gives me the height I want, and I can raise it up 2 more distances easily if I need to get some real height. So I decided this is the one I wanted to use. So all you have to do is find a bicycle mount, handle mount for your handlebars and stuff like that. Now, this piece of rubber right here, you're going to have to clip it back just a little bit so it ends up looking like that. Basically what you do is you just kind of take these rubber insert it into the bicycle mount like that, and then wrap it around, as you can see what I've done here, and then take the handlebar mount, GoPro mount, put it in there, insert the screw, and then just basically just tighten this thing down. Now what I do is I line it up with the center of the top of the tripod and the remote down at the bottom so I can get straight. As you can see here, all I'm doing is tightening these things down. Now you don't have to get crazy. Now this is on, it ain't going anywhere. Now this is kind of a unique connection. I don't even know where I got it from. But what's so cool, it's got a thumb base or a plastic thumb screw on the bottom with a 1/4 protruding, which would be great to screw it on to the cell phone mount. So first thing I want to do is get this mounted. I'm going to show you how cool this thing really works out. Basically just screw this thing on. You don't have to go tight yet. Now if you have one of these GoPro adapter wrenches, this would be a good thing to have for this particular project, because you really want to wrench this thing down once it's all in place, and except to where you want to adjust it like that. But basically all I'm doing right now is I'm going to use the wrench just for now to get it in place where I want it. I'm getting some drag, not enough drag yet. There's some good drag right there. Now just take the cell phone mount and screw it into place. This little DIY project is almost done. You want to get some pretty good drag here so when you're in place it doesn't fall. The reason I like the screw-on style here is because I'm not putting a lot of undue stress when I'm raising that thing up. So basically all I do is get it where I want it to go, just screw it into place. Now this part of the project is done. You can see this thing is not going anywhere, and I can adjust it up or down depending on where I am in the kayak. And then when I raise up the mount to the height that I want to mount my Osmo Pocket to, you can see I've got nice area to watch, and I'm going to get no obstruction from the wide angle lens. So let me set this finally up, and then I'll be back in just a second. Hi guys, hey, we got this all mounted up here. As you can see how I did that. The bicycle mount from GoPro, 1/4 with a protruding thumb screw down here to where you can screw it into your specific cell phone mount. But as you can see, I've got drag, so I can adjust this, and that's about the width back. But so you're going to pick up sun glare, so that's why I needed it to be able to point down a little bit, get the sun glare out. You can see that the Osmo Pocket is mounted to the top part of the tripod, and this has my wide angle lens installed. So this will eliminate, while I'm in tracking mode, of it picking up the back of anything, and it gives me a good full swing. I think it has a 270-degree swing on your pan, so I will have no obstructions with panning now by mounting the cell phone mount down here. Now you could reverse this mount and actually have it go the other way, and it might be not a bad idea, which will give you more swing. So if I wanted to adjust this, if I'm in the kayak, I reach and flip out the lower one, and you see I can raise this to where it's at the height I need, and it'll probably be right about there in the kayak. Now I'm going to show you how I mount this into the inflatable kayak. So hey, we'll be back in just a second. So before I get in the kayak, I have this thing collapsed, and this is all underneath my deck bag, and the Osmo Pocket and the cell phone is inside the deck bag. And then when I get in the craft, my legs are sitting here like this. Well, they actually support this. Now I undo that buckle clip and put it into place. Now I can't lose it. Now you can see the Osmo Pocket is up here. Cell phone mount is here, and I can adjust this. And this is basically perfect for me. I'm sitting in the kayak, it's right here. I can operate the Mimo app and all the applications. All right, when you activate everything, and it's going to run you through the paces to connect to the Wi-Fi app. The Mimo app is right here. So if there's anything I want to do, I can go up and down, left and right. And this is all on wide angle. You can see on this photo here, if I take the wide angle off, it brings everything really close up. So I like the new wide angle lens from Freewell. It gave me some more distance, especially when I'm doing selfie work. If I turn this thing around, it wouldn't pick up as much, and it had problems focus being I was sitting right here. So if I take that off, you can see the big difference on that. So the wide angle lens really helps me out a lot. And so when I'm doing narrations from the kayak and stuff like that, this thing really works well. So if you don't have the advanced frame with the zippers, that means those buckles won't be there. So all you have to do really, guys, is just pick up, and you may have them laying around, some paracord buckles, some paracord 3/4 inch buckles, and then hand stitch it in with some webbing. Just hand stitch it in. And I did that on both the sports, my sister's sport and my sport. This particular craft, which is the 1044, comes with that. And then my Expedition Elite also comes with those buckles. So I only had to do it in the sport to add those buckles, but this will definitely get you where you want to go. Hey guys, we are going to wrap this thing up. I hope this answers the viewer questions on how I mount my Osmo Pocket into my kayak. This is how I do it now, especially because of the new wide angle lens attachment. It was picking up parts of the phone, so I had to figure out a way to mount the cell phone down here. And a standard GoPro handlebar mount with a couple of modifications by clipping off a little bit of that excess rubber, and having your particular tripod. Now again, I use the Fujitech FT568. I guess it's called a monopod, or it's actually a selfie stick. It's a combination. It's got the remote control down here and all that kind of stuff. And then bought the Per Gear aluminum tripod screw-on legs with a 1/4 mount, where I could attach it to the Fujitech tripod or monopod. And then I was able to take the handlebar mount, the GoPro handlebar mount system, and just some extra spare parts that I had collected for my GoPro stuff, and then a good cell phone mount holder. Now I like this one because it screws down, so I can really cinch this thing down, so I don't have to worry about sliding anywhere, going anywhere like that. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. The viewers that asked me those questions, I hope it answers your questions. See you on the next one.